Hi guys, Rebecca McFarland here. This video is going to show you how to do this with my coloring book pages. If you would like to sign up to get one free coloring book page per week for 8 weeks, go to my website at RebeccaMcFarland.org. Okay, let's have some fun. Hi guys, I am going to show you how I did this to one of my coloring book pages. I printed it on a folder. So I know a lot of us are organizing while we're in captivity, and we were getting rid of a lot of taxes, and I had a lot of these and I didn't know what to do with them. I certainly didn't want to throw them away, and so I decided they'd make a really great canvas for these coloring book pages, or for anything really. I was going to use them in a journal, but when I decided to do this, it just seemed like the perfect thing. We also had bright ones, as you can see. I printed on a very bright one. I haven't finished that one yet. I also had some junk mail that I used gesso on, and I tried to print it on that. It looks really good, but it didn't get the whole image, so you might try that. I also tried it on a cereal box, so, you know, because I knew we'd all have a lot of those, but it wouldn't print on that. I have a pretty inexpensive printer. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do, I guess is show you what you need. So you need some pens from around the house. I would say pens that can bleed. You know, we want ones that, well, that's not smearing at all, is it? Ones that can smear. You see, can you see that from there? I don't know. Let's see if well, I tested this one before we got started, but that's not working either. Let's see. There we go. See that nice bleed. So just look around your house and find what, test them out. And see which one works best. I also have here a Sketch and Wash pencil. As you can see, I love these. This is down to its last little bit, and it also will give a nice bleed. So that's really nice. This is graphite, water-soluble graphite, and I have a spray bottle. This is just from my face spray that I use. I filled it with water. I also have a paintbrush and a little water just in case. Some clear gesso. This is an option if you have it. I love it because it creates some nice texture, as well as it gives the paper, it makes it a little sturdier. You can also use regular gesso for coloring in the pages, or white paint. My guess, you could even use house paint if you have it. Kind of whatever, your children's paint. Your kids have some. And there is an ambulance going by. Okay, so how I started was I took my clear gesso. And I just, so you could use a paintbrush, obviously, to get this all over. I would suggest a larger paintbrush than this one, but I forgot about that. I didn't get one. I have my brayer here, and this came with a little printing kit that I had. And what I've done here is I just use my brayer with my clear gesso to go over it like this. And I love texture. Those of you who follow me on Instagram, you know I'm always talking about, I'm just cleaning up my table because this is actually my iron table. I haven't planned so well. You know I love texture if you follow me at all. And I would even leave this normally, but I want you guys to really be able to see. Although again, I don't know if you can see how it created lines all over. I just love that. But I'm going to put that aside because I did one earlier so that it would have time to dry. So you definitely want it to dry. This one's still a little wet, but it's not too bad. I think it might still work. Let me see. Also, you notice how it's bubbling up. So if you gesso on both sides, you're going to get a little bit less of that. That's what I did on this one. So it's really, really sturdy, and it it won't bubble as much. Also, when you're done, you can put it under a bunch of books and it should flatten out pretty easily. Okay, I think I'm going to have to wait for this to dry. Okay, so this has completely dried. I haven't done it on the back, but whatever. These are odd times, and no need to do everything perfectly here because we're just here to have some fun. Just scraping off a little hair that got in there. So I'm taking my pen. Again, we're using a pen that's water soluble, I guess is what you would call it, that bleeds whenever you, so let's, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the coloring book pages so that we get a nice thick line. Whoops, I hope you can see that. I hope I didn't just put my head in the shot. And I'm not trying to be perfect here. I'm just trying to relax, which we all need right now. Creating that kind of meditative state as I outline pages. And I'm sure you can see how quickly I'm doing this. I love imperfections in my art, in my home, in my people. It's what makes us lovable and interesting. And I'm always searching for ways to create imperfections in my work. I mean, actually, there's no way to make it perfect, so why try, right? See, I went out of the lines there. Okay, so I just wanted to do one quick flower here, so that we can, I don't need to do the whole page for you guys to see how you can get started making your own piece. So I'm going to take my spray bottle. Ooh, look at that! I mean, come on. You can use any spray bottle you have at home, by the way. It doesn't have to be the kind, and now I'm blotting it because it will create a huge big puddle. And what I really want are these yummy gray spots. And if you look at this one, you'll see how they've bled all around here, and I kept them. This is the file folder. I didn't treat that with anything except the clear gesso, and I want all those pretty spots. And I found a blue pen since the one earlier didn't work, and I am hoping that this one will work because I thought it would be fun. It's a little wet there now. Maybe I'll do something over here so that since it's not wet. I like the idea of another color. I don't have any other pens here really besides these. So why not use them? Blue flowers, I think so. Alright, let's see if that, I tested it well. Yep. Oh, look at that. I mean, is that beautiful? I think it is. And if you didn't want the blue flowers and you have a blue pen, you could certainly do her shirt, or you could do this area on her little headband. You know, whatever makes you happy. That's what we're going for here. Also, if you do not have, I forgot to mention this, a spray bottle at all, you can use a little Q-tip to start merging that with the background. I think that is actually quite pretty as well. I love seeing it get all freaky with my spray bottle, but we're making do. We're using what we have. Okay, so now I'm going to take my white paint. Oh, I wanted to show you before I do that, my Sketch and Wash. Apparently I got a lot of hair in this. My Sketch and Wash pencil. if you have some water-soluble graphite or water-soluble crayons even, I think you could do the same thing. And use it. I like using several different things, like the pens, the blue pen, the graphite. Just creates some interest. A little different. And also when you spray it, you know, again, if I spray it from a different angle, I'm going to get a lot more spread, which I think is also fun. I just took it all away. So I'm going to spray it again. I can use my fingers if I don't have a Q-tip. Really, just get in there. Like that. Okay, so now back to my paint. I'm going to take some white paint. I'm using a pretty thin paintbrush because I happen to have one. But as you can see, I could also use this one. It's a little worse for the wear, but it doesn't matter because we're not going for perfection here, right? So this is what it's going to look like if I'm using white paint. Actually, maybe this paintbrush isn't so good. There we go. If I didn't have this one, this paintbrush, what I would probably do is trim that other one. I'd just get the scissors out and I would trim it up so that I had a better angled brush. Now this has dried slightly, which is good. And I'm just dabbing the paint in those little holes. I'm not worrying about it being exactly in the lines. Certainly we are coloring outside the lines in the world right now. We might as well in our coloring book pages as well. And because I've already created this kind of grayish wash in the background, it makes for a very forgiving experience, which is something I really look for in my art making. I don't want to have to always be thinking about if something is perfect. I think that's my husband outside the door. Yep, here he comes. So that's what it's going to look like. Come on in. If I'm using paint. And this is also what it's going to look like if I'm using gesso. This is not the clear gesso, this is a white gesso. So the gesso is a little thinner. It's not going to create as much coverage as the white paint is. So it's all a matter of what you want to create. See how when I also get outside the lines, all I do is use my little finger and merge it back in there. You know, we can also go over this again once it's dry. If I've lost some of my definition around the flowers because I got too messy, I can just go back in with a pen and more water and keep experimenting until I have the look that I want. On these little bits here, not too much on there. You know, these thin. I only want to get like a dab on there to be able to get in there. And don't worry about doing the whole line. I didn't. I'm kind of just giving the impression. Or maybe you want to mix in your pencils if you have colored pencils on these smaller areas. If you start to get frustrated because you don't have a small enough paintbrush. this one up here. He's gotten some really cool gray going on as it's dried from the pen and the gesso. Ooh, I like that. I like how that looks. And I would say trust that. Follow those instincts. Follow those feelings when you go, ooh, yummy, yes, that I like it. That's how we create art we love, is by listening to those little voices. Maybe you don't like a blue pen. Maybe you want to go back over it with a black pen. Maybe you love the blue. Maybe you have some red at home. I should look for a red pen. I will. I'm liking it. Okay, so here I have the original one that I did and the one that I did with you guys. This has some blue on her shirt and her headband and on the leaves. This one is just completely the sketch and wash pencil and a pen. I also did a little whitewash on her face and her hair just to see what that would look like. I think it would be cool if you had a red pen to do her shirt and her headband in red and the leaves in blue. And it just depends on what you like, what your taste level is. So have fun and be well.